welcome to our chair yoga class. On Fridays, we alternate between chair yoga and functional fitness. So next Friday will be our functional fitness class, more standing. Chair yoga is almost all seated, except for about 3 minutes in class. We do a little bit of standing. Before we get moving, quick reminder of what else GoGo provides. So with one phone number, you can access rides, meals, groceries, medication delivery, and home services. And that number is 855-464-6872. Also, just so you know, we have a referral code. So at the bottom of your GoGo receipts, you have a special referral code. If you give that to a friend and they use it and take their first service with GoGo, you will each get $10 in GoGo credits. So a nice win-win. We also have a Facebook group, so if you ever want to continue any of these conversations online, you can find us on Facebook, and we'll share a link in the chat if you want to do that. All right, and finally, if we have not met, I'm Adra. I teach the yoga and the functional fitness class here at GoGo. All you need today is a chair and your body. I like a chair that's not rolly, but if all you have is a rolling chair, then that's what you have. I also like a chair without armrests, but of course, if all you have is a chair with armrests, it's totally fine. We'll make it work with what you have. Okay, with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So now my video should probably be, or will probably be your big screen. If it's not, you can always go to the top right-hand corner of your computer and find View. And there'll be gallery view and then speaker view. So you just pick speaker view. Unless you want to see other people moving with you, then that's gallery view. All right, so finding your seat, planting those feet. At first, let's just take some circles with the torso. Sort of settling yourself in. And circling the other way. And coming back to center, sitting nice and tall. Let your hands rest on your lap and go ahead and close the eyes or soften your gaze towards the ground. Let the muscles of the face relax. And allow your breath to smooth out. Breathing in and out of the nose if possible. Begin to notice where you feel the breath in the body. You feel movement in the chest. Do you feel movement in your back? Or maybe you feel it in your abdomen. Just noticing where you feel the breath in the body. And almost sensing that the breath is like a massage tool. It's massaging you from the inside out. We'll use our breath as a tool throughout practice today. Allowing your breath to link with your movement as best you can. But also using your breath as an anchor, noticing those moments when the breath becomes rapid, or when you might choose to hold the breath or unintentionally hold the breath. And maybe that's a sign for you to back off, to slow down, to do less, or maybe to do more. So letting that breath be a place to check in. How is my breath? Giving you a sense of the state of mind or the state of your body. Let's take a deep inhale, fill the lungs. Exhale out the mouth, let it go. Again, deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Blink open the eyes. Let's begin rotating the head, looking right and left, like you're shaking your head no. And then nod the head yes, looking up and down, only moving in a range that feels good and safe to your body. Bring the head back to center. You'll bring one ear towards your shoulder, so side stretch of the neck. Shoulders stay relaxed. And other ear to shoulder. Switch ear to shoulder one more time each side. And other side. Head comes back to center. Let's do some shoulder rolls forward. Nice big shoulder rolls forward. Something that you can move those shoulders without moving the spine so that there is a separation between what your spine is doing and what your shoulders are doing. And then shoulder rolls the other way. And then letting those shoulders relax. Let's interlace the fingers. And we're going to roller coaster our arms one direction. Just sort of waking up the arms, the wrists, the hands, and then roller coaster the other way. This might feel funny, so usually there's one way that's much easier than the other. Really trying to articulate through the wrists and the hands. And then letting that go. Let's inhale, open up the arms, press the chest forward, lift the sternum towards the ceiling, look up, tail goes behind you, and then exhale, round your back, give yourself a hug. I'm just gonna show you a side view, you don't need to move. Inhale, open up the chest, arms go out to the side, tail goes back, and exhale, round, tuck your tail, give yourself a hug, drop your chin. Keep going at your own pace. And make your way back to center, releasing those arms. And let's bend side to side. So you decide how low you go. Keeping those feet planted and keeping your sits bones grounded. So keeping those cheeks on the chair. Maybe imagining that you're in a narrow hallway. You don't want to touch the front or the back of the hallway or either side of the hallway, really. I mean, if it's one in front of you, one behind you, the walls. We're avoiding the walls, getting that nice side bend. A few more. And then coming back to center. Let's bring the fingertips to the shoulders, elbows out to the side. Keeping your legs planted. Imagine that you're squeezing something between the knees. So try not to move the legs. Knees are squeezing together. Rotate your spine one way. Feeling the twist, keeping those knees tracking forward. Come back to center and twist the other way. Keep going here, twisting one way and then the other. Keeping the legs still, the pelvis still, so that we're really getting the rotation in our spine and not in our hips. All right, let's come back to center, releasing those arms. Let's move our attention now to our feet. Letting all 10 toes face forward, we're gonna push down into the balls of the feet and into the toes and lift one heel and then the other. So alternating heel lifts or calf raises. Noticing where your ankle goes as you lift. So sometimes we sort of go out to one side or go in, or there's some sort of twisting. See if you can stay really centered. So the heel is really following the line of the front of the foot and it's not shifting out to one side or another. And then we're gonna add on. So you can continue like this if this is right for you, or if you want to add on, you're gonna lift the leg all the way up. So full marching, lifting the knee, finding that thigh bone moving in the hip socket. Spine stays still. Nice smooth breath, couple more. And then releasing those feet. We'll inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the ceiling. Palms touch, exhale, hands come to the heart and bow yourself forward. So we're getting a little rounding in the back, a little hinging of the hips. Then we inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the ceiling. We'll do this several times so you get a chance to feel this. Hands to the heart, folding forward. You decide how low you go. Once you find your lowest point, we inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the ceiling. So you feel those back muscles working. If it's too much, make it smaller. Hands to the heart, folding forward. Let's do one more. Inhale, arms circle out and up. This time, hands to the heart. As you fold forward, we're going to stay there. So either hands will rest on your thighs and you can lean forward. I'll give you a side view. You can stay there, or forearms can come to your thighs if that feels better. Or you come all the way down, hands to your feet. So it's your own forward fold variation, making sure that it's safe so that you can comfortably get up again from wherever you go. Feel free to let your head and neck go no matter what variation you're in, if that feels safe and comfortable. Several deep breaths. Then using your arms to help yourself out, go ahead and lift yourself back up. Just sit. Okay, let's take those legs nice and wide. So we're going into a nice wide straddle. You can either do this by sitting really far forward in your chair. You can also sit back in your chair. So it just depends on what feels comfortable for you. Let your toes follow the same line as your knees, or your knees follow the same line as your toes. So just watching that your knees aren't knocking in like I'm showing right now. We want those legs nice and active, that the knees are pushing out to line up with the feet. We'll lean to the right. So right hand, I'm mirroring you. Right hand can come onto your right thigh or knee. If you have an armrest, you could bring your forearm to your armrest. Or if you want even more, you can bring your forearm to your leg. So it's either hand, forearm, or forearm. So lots of options there. What feels good? Keep your hips grounded. So watch that that left hip doesn't peel off of the chair, that you're pushing that hip down. And then your free arm can either stay down, reach out to the side, up towards the sky, or all the way overhead for your side stretch. And now, great time to notice your knees. Is one knee knocking in? Can you push the knees up? Deep breaths. Go ahead and lift yourself up. Take a moment, notice differences right to left. Let me switch sides. So leaning to the left, hand can come to your thigh, forearm to your armrest or forearm to your leg. Sits bones stay grounded, so make sure that right hip stays down on your chair, and then that right arm can stay down, reach out to the side, up towards the ceiling, or all the way overhead. Finding some stretch along the waist and maybe the rib cage. Watching those legs, making sure that the knees are pressing out and that one isn't knocking in or relaxing. We want to keep this somewhat active. And coming back up to center. Let's keep those legs wide for just a little longer. We'll take the hands towards the knees and lean forward. Let the shoulders creep up towards the ears as you lean forward. Trying to weight bear into those hands, we'll let one shoulder dip forward, rotating the spine, so finding a little twist. And center. And then other shoulder dips forward, rotating, feeling that stretch in the shoulder as well. And center, one more time each side, shoulder comes down, rotate. Other side, shoulder drops. And coming back to center. Let's pull those legs back together. All right, so we're gonna work on those thighs and then stretch the hamstrings a little bit. So, sitting nice and tall, you might scooch away from the backrest. We're going to lift one leg up a couple of inches off the ground, so just a small lift, and then straighten the leg, bend the knee, lower it down, back down. So we lift the leg, a small march, kick the leg, bend, and down. I'll go sideways just so you get a different view. You don't need to move. So we lift, straighten, bend, lower. Watching that your spine does not move. So the spine does not change shape as you're moving your leg. What often happens though, because there's tension in the backs of the legs, is as you straighten your leg, your body wants to slump and tuck the tail. So if you're noticing that that's happening, maybe don't straighten all the way, or don't lift the knee so high. You can try and just straighten really low. So that we can work not only the quad muscles, so those muscles in the front of the thigh, but you can also stretch the backs of the legs without getting your spine and your low back involved. Couple more. All right, and evening yourself out and letting that go. Now we'll stretch out the backs of the legs a little bit further. So sitting towards the front edge of the chair, we'll straighten out one leg in front of you. Let's stretch out the left leg first, if you want me to pick. So left leg in front, straight left leg. We're hinging forward first from the hips. So it's that pelvis rolling over the thigh bones. So we'll add some breath. We inhale, lean forward, hinging from the hips. And then exhale, sit back up, back off. So we're just easing our way in. Inhale, leaning forward, feeling the stretch. Exhale, back up. Keep going at your own pace. So follow your breath as you come forward and back a few times. Next time you're leaning forward, you'll pause and stay there. You're welcome to hold the stretch where you are with your hands resting on your legs. Or if you want more, you can hinge further forward, bending your elbows, maybe bringing your right forearm to your thigh or reaching your left hand down your left leg. So wherever you'd like to be. We're gonna hold for a few breaths. with those left toes facing up towards the ceiling. Now, if it feels okay, we're going to rotate this left thigh to turn out a little bit. So the motion is coming from the thigh bone in the hip socket. If you need to, you back off. But we're rotating that left thigh bone to face out. So now the knee and the toes are slightly to the left. And then folding forward. You'll feel the stretch potentially in a slightly different place. Nice smooth breaths. And then coming back up. We'll rebend that left knee. Shake it off a little bit, maybe let those knees sway side to side. And then we'll switch sides. So other leg, right leg goes forward. So we have a straight right leg with the toes pointing up to the ceiling, bent left knee. We're easing our way in. So we inhale, lean forward, feel the stretch. And then exhale, sit up, back away. Inhale, finding a little bit of stretch, leaning forward, and then exhale, backing away. Follow your breath, keep going. Next time you're leaning forward, you'll go ahead and pause. You can hold the stretch there. Or you can keep your, or you can bring your hands down, forearm to the thigh, or reach your hand down your shin. So it's up to you how low you go. For now, we're keeping the toes facing up towards the ceiling. Nice smooth breaths. Jaw is relaxed. And then backing away for the stretch for a moment to then turn the leg out. So the knee, the thigh, and the toes are going to point slightly to the right. So the rotation though is happening at that thigh bone. So the thigh bone rotates in the hip socket, allowing everything to go slightly out to the right. And then let yourself fold forward again, potentially feeling the stretch in a slightly different place. Smooth breaths. Go ahead and lift yourself back up. Let's rebend that right knee. Windshield wiper those knees side to side. And back to center. We'll give our legs a little break and come back to our arms. Let's bend the elbows 90 degrees. We have a 90-degree bend. And then bring those pinkies to touch. Then as we inhale, arms open out to the side, thumbs reach back, but the elbows stay close to your body. So we're trying to find a little rotation here. So it's that arm bone rotating in the shoulder socket, but then those shoulders can squeeze slightly towards each other. Exhale, pinkies touch, hands come towards each other. Inhale, open, finding that rotation. Exhale as you close. Keep going at your own pace. So don't worry about my speed or anybody else's. See if you can link up your breath with your movement. Next time the arms go out to the side, we'll pause. And then straighten the arms out into a T position with those palms facing up for now. And we're gonna wring out our arms. So we'll let the left palm, I'll mirror you, left palm face forward and then down and then back. So we're getting internal rotation in the left arm. That right palm will stay facing up towards the ceiling. And then we switch. That right palm turns to face forward, down, and then back. Left palm faces up. So we're wringing out those arms. So we're finding some internal and external rotation here. Feeling that it's not just the lower arms or the forearms that are rotating, but it's also those arm bones in the shoulder sockets finding some rotation. Might start to feel a little bit of heat in the arms. That's normal. Couple more times. Smooth breath. Start to even yourself out. So you've done the same right to left. And then release the arms, shake them off. All right, we're moving to our standing part of class. Again, we don't stand for very long, so if standing is not for you, you can skip this part. If you are up for standing, I recommend that you make your way behind your chair. If you cannot get behind your chair, find a wall, find a table, find something that you can hold on to for support. I'm sideways just so you can see, you can keep facing your computer. So hands holding on to your support, chair, wall, table. Step your right foot back behind you, anywhere from 1 to 3 feet back. Depends on the length of your legs. All 10 toes face forward, and we'll bend just the front knee. So that left knee is going to bend. Feel free to keep holding on to your chair, or hands can hover above the chair, or hands can reach up towards the ceiling. So the front knee is bent, the back leg is straight, that back heel is reaching down towards the ground, and all 10 toes are facing forward. Couple of deep breaths. Hands come back to your chair or support. We're moving into a balance. We're going to lift the back heel off the ground, stand on that left foot, and then slide that right foot directly behind the left so that you're standing on a balance beam or a tightrope. So the left foot is in front, the right foot is behind. If this feels crazy, if this feels really, really hard, turn your feet out or widen your stance. So it might be a little hard to see my feet because they're quite small within the frame, but you can either turn your feet out for more support or widen your stance. Just pretend your balance beam is really wide. For more challenge, of course, you're standing on that tightrope, 1 foot directly behind the other. Feel free to keep holding on, or if you want more challenge, maybe you're holding on with just 1 finger per hand, or hover your hands above your support. Hands back to your support. Right foot stands next to the left, and then we switch sides. So first we step that left foot back 1 to 3 feet back, depending on the length of the legs. All 10 toes will face forward. We bend the front knee. So right knee bends. Left heel is touching the ground. You can keep holding your chair or table or wall. You can hover your hands or reach your arms up. Hands back to your support. We lift the back heels, you straighten the front leg, and step the back foot directly behind the front. So left foot behind the right. Finding your balance. Again, same option. So you can stay on that tightrope, all 10 toes face forward. You can turn your feet out so the toes are pointing out for a little more support, or you can step one foot out so that you're standing on railroad tracks instead of a tightrope. And so find the challenge that works for you. Holding onto your chair with both hands, with fingers, or with hovering. So whatever variation works for you, give yourself the right amount of challenge. All right, hands back to your support. We step the left foot next to the right. We're gonna step back into an upside down L position or a chair dog or a wall dog. So walking those feet back until your ankles are about underneath your hips. Your torso is parallel to the earth. Your tail is reaching towards the wall behind you. If this does not work for you, knees can be bent, torso can be higher. So you don't need to force yourself into a position. Find what works for you. A couple of deep breaths. Lift your torso up, walk yourself forward, and we'll come back to our seat. Coming back to sit in the chair. We're gonna go into some hip stretching, figure 4 stretch or a variation of figure 4. You can cross the right ankle over the left ankle and allow your knees to open out. So that's option 1. You're crossing the ankles and allowing your knees to open. Option 2, you bring that right leg on top of the left and cross your legs. Option 3, right ankle over the left thigh, allowing the knee to open out. So whatever variation works for you. And we have a couple of things that you can do. So if you really want to get into this figure 4, but it's quite challenging, you can of course bring your knee up as high to your chest as you want. You can sit up on some pillows or some heavy books, some thick books or some blocks, something to give you a little more height. The higher you are up, the less intensity you'll probably feel in your hip. If you need a little bit more in this stretch, first check that your bottom leg, that supporting leg, so that left leg, that shin, is perpendicular to the ground. If you bring your foot in, you'll lose a lot of the stretch. So you want to let that leg be perpendicular to the earth if you need a little more stretch. You're welcome to also lean a little forward to increase the stretch. So that leaning forward will create a little more weight forward. Couple more deep breaths here. And go ahead and lift yourself up, undo your legs, shake them off. You can kick them or let them rotate a little bit, whatever feels good. Pause, so there's no rush. Notice the difference right to left. And we go to the other side. So left ankle can cross over the right ankle and knees can open out to the side. So that's option one. You can get some of that rotation in the thigh bone in a much lower position. Or you can cross your legs. Or you can bring that left ankle over the right thigh and the right knee. You have the option to bring the knee higher towards your chest. You have the option to sit up onto something. You also have the option to pay attention to your bottom leg, that right leg, feeling that that right shin is perpendicular to the ground if you need a little bit more. Your other option, if you need more, is to lean forward. And go ahead and come on up, undo your legs, shake them off. So now we're gonna have some leg motion or some leg position with a twist. So we're gonna go back to our first leg, so that right leg. And you can either cross the ankle over the thigh, or if it's possible, I'm gonna have you cross your legs one on top of the other. So that right leg is on top of the left. And then you'll rotate to your right. You're rotating to the right. So you can bring your left arm outside of your leg and your right hand can reach for your chair. Finding a nice rotation. Deep breaths, let your rib cage be relaxed, let your jaw be relaxed. Go ahead and unwind, uncross, and we recross with the other leg on top. So left leg crosses on top. And we twist now to the left. Left hand can grab your chair, right hand can go outside of the leg. And coming back to center, undo those legs, shake them off. And then let's get nice and comfortable in our chair for our final meditation. So you can stay sitting forward or you can scoot yourself back. You can lean back into your backrest if that feels good. Just find a position where you feel really comfortable. Hands can rest wherever. And go ahead and close the eyes or soften your gaze towards the ground. Taking a few moments to tune back into your breath. Noticing how the breath moves you from the inside out. And then we'll just check in with how our body is feeling and how our body is positioned. So bringing your attention to your feet and just noticing where they are and how they feel. Then moving up and sensing your ankles, Same thing, you're just noticing. What do you feel? Where are they? Moving up to the lower leg, shin, calf region, sensing the lower leg. Sensing up into the knees and whatever sensations are present. Moving to the thighs, so sensing the thigh bones and the muscles around those thigh bones. Maybe sensing where the thigh connects with your chair. And then feeling your pelvis. And notice how your pelvis is connected to your chair. Then noticing the position of your low back and abdomen. Feeling into your middle back. Into the front of the chest and the rib cage. Into the upper back and shoulders. Just feel. Feel down the upper arms. Into the elbows. Forearms. Wrists and hands. Feel your neck. Your head and face. Feel your whole body. Feel your whole body. And allow it to relax. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth, let it go. One more time, deep inhale through the nose. Out the mouth. Blink open the eyes. Let's inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands touch, palms come towards the chest. Take a moment here to thank yourself for taking time to take care of your mind and your body. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. So great to have you here, as always. If you have questions regarding class, now's your time to ask. So either the yoga or the functional fitness. If you have questions about GoGo, you have to ask GoGo directly. Go ahead, Susan.
When we're doing the hip swivel with the legs crossed over, the ankle crossed over, do you keep your standing leg turned out or straight?
You can turn it out as well. I find it's easier, but you can keep it straight as well. So let me come a little closer. So ankle crosses. So here I'm mirroring, right? You can do that. If you want, you can allow the other one to come out to the side. It doesn't really matter. It's just what feels best for your hips.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and I got a message directly. I don't think she's here anymore, but that they couldn't see me. So I'm just gonna say it here. If you can't see me, you have to change the view at the top right-hand corner. And you change it to speaker. I know probably everyone here got that, but I'm gonna say it and I'll try and remember to say it again next time. Yes, Bertha?
This is beyond the scope of this course, I guess, but do you have a set of exercises that would be good to do just or tiring, that would help to relax a person and to sleep in.
I don't have a specific set of exercises. I think generally just slowing down, slowing your breath, doing a few stretches. Sometimes it's even nice to do some of the stretches in bed. That actually brings me to a question for all of you who are still here. How would you feel if we did part of class on the ground? Would anyone go, oh my gosh, I don't want to get on the ground because getting up is hard? Yeah. No. Okay. I'd been wondering, okay, should we do a little portion of the class on the ground? So Bertha, you know, a lot of the stretches that we do, you can sort of do on your bed, even. Like the figure 4. Right? So we did that figure 4 sitting in the chair. You just change the direction and you can do it on your back. That hamstring stretch that we do sitting in the chair, you could straighten your leg. And so I generally recommend that probably if if it's time to go to bed, you don't need to do it in your bed, but getting things, you know, slowing things down, sometimes doing things laying down can feel really, really nice if you're trying to get yourself to relax and calm down, and mostly slow the breath, focus on your exhales. That's the biggest thing. Focus on the exhales and slow the breath down.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Adria,
Yeah.
Ross here.
Hi,
I
Ross.
discovered something regarding audio since I heard some other audio questions and feedback. On the left side of the Zoom screen, there's a green shield that when you click on it, it goes to you know, the information for the class. But on the right-hand side, there's a settings button, and if you click on it, it opens up and you can see the audio settings for display. And so within that, they have an auto setting, but they also say, well, if you're having trouble, like the feedback or the, you know, like kind of the watering sound, it's got like 6 or 7 different settings from low to high on noise reduction. And so what I did is I went down to the lower ones. In fact, they've got a couple betas for live music, you know, because they're hearing extra sounds possibly, and you press that button and then it noise suppresses for your class, especially like right now, you're fine. Whenever you step back, the further back you go is when you have the problem. So anyway, it's to me, it was fixable. I mean, to a degree, it's not perfect, but you know, being able to set that on the higher settings, you know, for the sound disabling kind of thing. I just have to look to see, but I mean, I was going to run people through if they wanted to click the thing and do the thing to look to see, to save you the trouble, because it's a couple of steps. But anyway, if that made any kind of sense, and if anybody understands that, that people that had the question, I can try to remember who it was, the man that in one of your previous classes that said sound problem, but anything to help your class.
That's really sweet, Ross. Does anyone right now in this group want help with that? Or is anyone, because if someone else is having sound issues, great, let's do that. We can do that together for the next 5 minutes. If not, if everyone else is okay with sound, then Ross, that might come up again. And so it's good that we have that information because it's really helpful. Okay, it sounds like, okay, this class we're okay in terms of sound. So that's good. That's a pleasant, that's cool, Ross, because I didn't know that. So anything else? All
You
right.
really had my hip muscles burning there, or I could feel if I was doing it correctly, I'm going like, well, that major muscles in there, and I'm usually just really tight. And since I ride a bicycle a lot, I was like, oh, and the worst thing is whenever I stopping the bike and then, you know, raising your leg and trying to kick off and cross your leg off the stand, and you're going like, oh, well, you know, because you're not exercising that until you actually get off the bike and you're going, oh, I need that stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm glad this gave you some stretching post bike.
Thank you.
Oh, all right, everyone. I will let you go. It was so wonderful to see you. I will see you next week on Wednesday. It is yoga again. because then Friday will be functional fitness, just so you know. All right, thanks everyone. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.